Hi, this is DarkFox127 and welcome to another Skyrim Creation Kit tutorial video. In today's video I'm going to be covering how to convert your mods over to the brand new Skyrim Special Edition. Now, one thing to cover just before I get started is that I will not be in this video or any future videos covering anything in relation to console modding. So I won't be showing you how to upload to the Bethesda.net website or how to port mods across. I have my reasons for this and they are clearly stated in an article that I wrote a few weeks ago, and you can find the link in the description below. So the biggest question out there right now is whether or not a specific mod can be easily converted over to the Skyrim Special Edition or not. And the answer is it really depends. Now, if a mod has SKSE, the Skyrim Script Extender, as a requirement for it, then it's not going to be able to be converted over to the Skyrim Special Edition at the time of this video, as SKSE has yet to be released. Now, over on their website, they do have a statement where they're saying they are working on it, and hopefully sometime soon we're going to have a 64-bit version of SKSE, and a lot of mods that have it as a requirement are then going to be able to be converted over to Special Edition. Now, also the other things that need to get sorted out are SkyUI, the major user interface overhaul for Skyrim that pretty much most of us use now. That's going to need updating, which hopefully gets done. And then a follow-on from that is that a lot of mods, you may not be aware, use the mod configuration menu, MCM, to allow you to easily configure the mods. Now, if we don't get that, then there's going to be a lot of mods that have two options. Either they don't get converted to Skyrim Special Edition, or the mod author is going to have to go through a ton of changes and pretty much backtrack to a previous version or make changes to remove MCM from their mod. Now, a lot of authors aren't going to be willing to do this, whether because they just can't really be bothered to go through the hassle, or they're working on new projects, or maybe a lot of mod authors have simply just disappeared. So basically, until we get SKSE and the mod configuration menu, SkyUI back up and running, there are a lot of mods out there that you're not really going to see come over to the Skyrim Special Edition. Now, this also includes some of my own mods, so Corinthia Tower Reborn, Riverside Shack, Mershcombe Estate, and others like it. Those are not going to be able to make it to the Skyrim Special Edition until SKSE is up and running and ready to go. So the first thing that you want to go ahead and do when you're looking to convert a mod over to SSE is to just load it up in the new creation kit. Now, if you're not sure how to get the new creation kit or have it all fully installed and ready to go, then you can go ahead and check out my video, which will be on screen now. The reason why you need to go ahead and load up your mod and save it in the new creation kit first is because there are a number of technical things in the background that are going to need updating with your ESP for the new engine, for everything to work smoothly. One of those things is face generation data, so any of you that are aware of the grey face bug, that needs to have all of its files sort of regenerated for your NPC faces. Now, the creation kit should do this when you load it up, the brand new one that is, and it should regenerate everything. However, if you're worried about anything, or you have what is now sort of a black face issue where your NPC face is completely black, then just go ahead and regenerate those in the new creation kit with Ctrl and F4, and you should be good to go there. Now, one thing that a lot of people were worried about prior to the release of the Skyrim Special Edition and the new creation kit was scripting. People thought that they were going to need to completely recompile all of their scripts for their mods, and it turns out that that is not actually necessary. Scripts can be dragged and dropped in without any issues, and they should run fine. Again, as long as they don't need SKSE, as at the time of this video, it's not out yet. So yeah, scripts will work fine. However, one oddity that seemed to occur is that Bethesda completely screwed up and put the source scripts in the wrong place. Now, if you're familiar with scripting with the creation kit and Skyrim, you will know that the source scripts usually go under scripts and source. However, all that's in there are my own custom scripts that I've gone ahead and created. And they've gone and put the source scripts into a folder called source. Now, they did actually admit to this being a sort of accident of theirs. And to my knowledge, it's still not fixed unless I haven't updated yet, or I need to uninstall my kit and reinstall it. But basically, the source scripts are in the wrong place. So it's under source and scripts. Now, this doesn't actually cause a problem with the creation kit. It still knows where to look. But one thing to note that was the same with the old creation kit is that if you want to access the source scripts for any of the DLCs, you're going to have to go in there and you're going to have to drag and drop these into the correct location, which is data, scripts, and source, if you want to read those within the creation kit. So keep that in mind. So far, it seems that converting mods over to Special Edition is super easy, super simple, and there's not too many problems. However, there was one or two things that people just did not expect that came our way that are causing problems, so now we get into the real fun stuff. One thing that Bethesda decided to go ahead and do was completely change the format of a lot of the meshes in the game, which means that when you're trying to drag and drop, say, a lot of resource meshes from modders into the new creation kit, it causes all sorts of problems where you get very strange oddities such as the render window going completely black, or the textures being all rainbow coloured and not loading correctly, or they just don't appear in there at all, and it causes all sorts of issues, and obviously you can't use the meshes. Now what this means is you actually need to go ahead and convert these meshes to the new format, or make the necessary changes to them so that they're going to work. Luckily, the amazing modding community has yet again come to the rescue, and there are various programs out there that you can use to sort out your meshes so that they work with the new version of the game. So at the time of this video, there are two tools that I am aware of that are going to allow you to make the necessary changes to your meshes to have them work with the new version of Skyrim. And the first one is NIF Modify. This cropped up pretty much as soon as the new creation kit was released to the public, and it allows you to make the necessary modifications like I say. And the second one that cropped up as I was creating this video is SSE NIF Optimizer. Now SSE NIF Optimizer is going to completely convert your meshes to the new format, but the only problem with that is it does not allow backward compatibility with the old version of Skyrim. So changing them to the new format will mean that your new meshes will not work with the old version. Now that's what NIF Modify still has the advantage of doing. It does not convert the meshes to the new format. It just means it makes the necessary changes so that it'll work with the game. So you can pretty much use either one, just be aware of what each one does. The advantage of SSE NIF Optimizer is that it does do some additional things that I don't know the exact technicalities of, that this tool does not. So you can pretty much pick whichever one you wish. So first of all, I'm going to show you how to use NIF Modify. Now you can go ahead and download this off the Skyrim Nexus. The links for all these tools are going to be in the description down below, and you'll get the executable and this text file. And if you open up the text file, it will have instructions on how to do this. It would involve using the command prompt and specifying the directories where the meshes are that you want to change and where you want to dump them. However, Plague Hush was kind enough to go ahead and write up a simple bat file that's going to allow you to do this with just one click. So you're not going to have to worry about using any command prompt or anything like that. Now the way it works is you're going to have to drop these files into the mesh folder where all of your meshes are, or what you can do is just go ahead and paste a mesh that you want to change into here, or a number of meshes that you want to change into here, and you can run the bat file. You'll get the command prompt sort of flicker on and off, and you'll get this text log here, and this will let you know exactly what it's done, the changes it's made, and then that should now work in the new creation kit. So like I say, you can go ahead and you can drag and drop this into an entire folder's worth of meshes if you wish, and just run the bat file and it will make the necessary changes, or you can do it this way. Now what I do recommend is that you just back up your meshes before you make any changes in case anything goes wrong and it kind of screws them up. So now for using the SSE NIF Optimizer. This has 3 files to it. Again, you can download this off the Nexus, and the way that this one works is you can do the same thing again if you wish. You can paste the NIF or NIFs that you want to change into the same folder, and you can just drag and drop this onto the executable this time, and it will come up with a command prompt. It just asks you if you want to optimize these or not. You can hit yes or no, so I'm going to put Y and enter, and then it will tell you what it's doing. It will complete the process in no time. Any key to continue. And now you cannot open this with a normal NIF scope. I'll show you what happens if you try. Because they've been converted to a new format, you're going to need the newest version of NIF scope, which is available to download on the mod page. They have a link, so go ahead and you can download the brand new version of NIF scope there, or the latest version. It's pre-alpha 6 at the time of this video. Now I already have this installed, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go and quickly navigate to that. So I've got it under my tools, NIF scope, load it up there, and I'm going to drag and drop that in. And as you can see, the new version of NIF scope will load it. And if you know anything of meshes, you'll probably notice there have been some slight changes. The nitri shapes have been converted and some other small things have happened in the background. Now that we have sorted out meshes, I need to move on and just mention textures. Now, if anyone has any textures within their mod or any mods that they're looking to convert over to Special Edition for their own use, or if they have permission off the mod author to upload it later on, there is one file format of texture which can no longer be used, and that is TGA. So you cannot use that texture type anymore. You would have to convert those textures over to the standard DDS format. This can be DXT5 or DXT1, and other than that, textures should be absolutely fine. One more thing that I would like to cover before I go on to the redistribution of your mods and repacking of your BSAs is the fact that the update ESM includes a bunch of changes, which most noticeably is foliage. So they have introduced a ton of new foliage into the game, and they have also added a bunch of other objects that you might have noticed, such as rocks on the ground. And the problem with this is a lot of mods out there, such as city overhauls, may end up with a whole bunch of new clipping issues. Now, luckily, Sacriletius has gone ahead and created a fantastic little mod that pretty much resets all of these objects. It gets them out of the way. It undoes some of the stuff that the update ESM has gone ahead and done, and some of the other ESMs as well, so that you're not going to have clipping issues if you're converting mods over to the new version. Now, a lot of mod authors are probably going to go back anyway and make the updates to their mods so there are no longer clipping issues, but there are also going to be a ton of mod authors that just aren't going to be coming back to their mods, and people aren't going to have the permission to redistribute them with the necessary changes. So this could be something that is very much worthwhile downloading. Just be sure to read everything fully in the description, make sure that the requirements are met, and you make the necessary changes that you need to make to your ESMs for this to work correctly. So this is a really, really useful optional extra if you do end up having a lot of clipping issues with mods being transferred into Special Edition. Okay, so let's say that now you've gone through all of that, you've got your meshes sorted, your textures sorted, and any other problems that we've been covering the last 10 minutes or so, and you need to now redistribute your mod for Special Edition. You would like to think that it's that easy, or you'd like to think that you could take mods that are already perfectly fine and ready to go and you could just dump them in. However, if you have any mods that are using a BSA which was packed for the old version of Skyrim, you're going to have to unpack them and then repackage them up. Now, one other thing I'm quickly going to mention before I carry on and do that is that there is a tool out there called Bethesda Archive Extractor. This is fantastic for extracting the existing BSAs with the new version of Skyrim if you want to dig in and mess around with the new meshes, with their new format and such, or anything else that you need to get access to, such as textures. This is a very, very useful tool. So I would strongly recommend that you go ahead and download that if you do a lot of modding of the existing files for the game. Okay, so to go ahead and unpack any existing BSA that you have for the old Skyrim and repackage it up for the new one, we're going to need a really handy tool called BSA Opt. Now, I do have a full tutorial on this for the old version of the creation kit if you want to go ahead and check that out. That'll be on screen now at the top right hand side of the screen. This we are going to need to go ahead and download, link in the description below. And I'm going to take my Frost Mammoths mod and I'm going to take the BSA and I'm going to get that unpacked and repackaged. So I'm going to use BSA Opt, I'm going to go browse, and I'm going to have that under desktop, Frost Mammoths, where it is. I'm going to hit open, give that a few seconds to load that all up. There we go. And as you can see, I've got my meshes, my scripts, my textures. I know all that's pretty good. So I'm going to hit browse, and it's navigated back to where it was, luckily. So I'm going to have it in here. And I'm going to hit use folder, and I'm going to unpack it there in the same folder. I'm going to close BSA Opt. We can't use BSA Opt to repackage it because it's not been updated to support SSE, at least not at the time of this video, or when I was making it anyway. So I'm going to go back into Frost Mammoths. I've got my meshes, my scripts, and my textures. And the only tool at the moment that I'm aware of that we can actually use to repackage our BSA is the one provided by Bethesda. So if you navigate to your Skyrim Special Edition main directory, you should know where that is by now if you do modding such as this. For me, it's on my games library. It's Steam Library, Steam Apps Common, Skyrim Special Edition. And I'm going to go there. I'm going to go under the tools section. So if you've installed the new creation kit, which I hope you have, you should have a new tools folder here and archive. So you've got the old archive executable here. We're going to load that up. And all we're going to do is go ahead and select our root directory. So wherever your loose folders are here that you want to package up. So in my case, I've had them dumped on the desktop. It's nice and easy. Frost Mammoths, it's in there. And then I'm going to drag and drop my meshes, scripts, my textures into there. Let it load them up. And I'm going to tick which ones are in there. So I've got meshes, textures, and miscellaneous for the scripts. And I'm going to click retain file names and retain file name offsets. And now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to select my BSA here to get the name. You'll probably have an ESP hanging around. So this just needs to be exactly the same name as the ESP. So I'm actually going to go ahead and delete that old BSA now. But it's going to need to be exactly the same name. So I'm going to go File, Save As. I'm going to paste that name in there. So I'm going to make sure it's called exactly what it needs to be, which is DF127 Frost Mammoth, same as the ESP is. And I'm going to save it there. Give that some time. And that's it. That should be it. So now we have our new packaged up version of the mod in a BSA format that the new version of Skyrim is going to like, and it's not going to crash. The very last thing that I'm now going to show you is how to go onto the Skyrim Nexus and redistribute your mod if you have a already existing version on the Skyrim Nexus for the legendary version of Skyrim and you easily want to make a new page for it for special edition. The Skyrim Nexus has you covered. They have a very, very simple way of making sure that you don't have to redo your images, redo your description and all sorts. You have a very simple button here that says duplicate in Skyrim SE. Now, before a lot of my followers out there begin to lose their shit, jump up and down and scream the fucking place down, no, Corinthia Tower Reborn is not yet ready to go on Skyrim SE due to what I mentioned at the start of this video, the various requirements. This does need SKSE, it does need mod configuration menu, and it pretty much does need to run through SkyUI. So unfortunately, I'm just doing this to piss you all off. So if we go ahead and click duplicate in Skyrim SE, this will make a duplicate page on Special Edition. Give that a moment. It says successfully duplicated to Corinthia Tower Reborn. Click on that. You'll see that it's now on the special edition version, and you can go ahead and treat this as a separate entity now, and you can make any necessary changes you need to in the description here to say like this is now an SE version or whatever. You can go ahead and change the images so they look like they do in the new Skyrim special edition, and you'll notice the one thing it hasn't copied over are the files. So you can go ahead, upload fresh files in here, and you can make any of the changes that you need. So if I just go to manage my mods now, manage my files, I've got my Corinthia Tower Reborn in here, and all the rest are sort of separate out the way on the other version of Skyrim. So that's nice and ready to go. So all I do now is go ahead and add all of my files to my archive and upload it to the Nexus, and I'm good to go. So there you have it. Those are most of the steps that you're going to have to take when you are considering converting your mod over to Skyrim Special Edition. Now, before you go ahead and click the cross button to close this video, please stay with me for a moment because I do have some sort of concluding comments that I would like to make in terms of the current state of modding with the new Creation Kit 64-bit. So as you may or may not be aware, I had early access to the new version of the Creation Kit and even SSE itself about 2 weeks prior to the release of the game and 3 weeks prior to the release of the kit, and it really gave me and other modders an opportunity to see a lot of the potential problems ahead of time and get a lot of possible fixes out there. Now, although we've got a lot of fixes out there now, there are still some technical issues with the Creation Kit that unfortunately cannot be resolved. Now, I'm not going to sit here and state them all. You can pretty much head over to forums and such and find all of that out for yourself or experience them for yourself. But the Creation Kit is still very much in quite a mess. Now, yeah, I know what a lot of you are really thinking, laughing in your heads. The Creation Kit's always been a mess. Well, yes, but the new Creation Kit is in even more of a mess. I mean, there are functions that are pretty much not working. The last time I checked, even after various updates, the scripting still hasn't been sorted in terms of where it's been pointed at in the data folder. The dialogue box is still completely broken, so you can't do dialogue views. and you pretty much have to do that stuff in the old kit and convert it across. And you've also got things like big videos that don't seem to want to work. I'm not aware if there is a workaround for that, but like I say, I'm not going to sit here and name them all, but there are still major issues with the new creation kit that just, for me personally, do not make it worth going through the hell to make new mods on. Now, because we have this situation where we can convert a lot of mods over from the old version of the creation kit, at this moment in time, I would strongly recommend that you just continue as normal with the old creation kit. There really aren't that many advancements that you would have expected to come across from things like the Fallout 4 creation kit. It's not the same kit. It's very much a kit that sits between the old Skyrim creation kit and the new Fallout. It has not got a lot of the new features. There's not much of an advantage to using the new creation kit. So yeah, I would sit back, use the old creation kit for a while, and see if Bethesda go ahead and make the necessary updates to fix various things, or even release some more official tools to help modders out. My personal opinion is that that's not really going to happen, and it's going to be left in a mess. But we never know. We might be surprised. The new creation kit might get updated a few more times. Things might get fixed, and the situation might improve. But yeah, like I say, there's no harm in just using the old creation kit as I am for my own project, and getting it all converted later on and push through to the new CK if you need to release on Special Edition. Now, as for Special Edition itself, it does have a number of fantastic advantages. Obviously, the 64-bit engine makes everything a lot smoother. It runs a lot better. There's a lot less issues in terms of script lag. The memory allocation limitations have been completely lifted from the game, so we can just run a lot more in it. We can shove more mods down its throat. So there are great advantages to using Special Edition. But yeah, because SKSC at the time of this video isn't quite out yet, and there are still some uncertainties about the future of modding and what direction it's going to take, if we're going to get to the same state as we had with the old Skyrim, everything's a bit all over the place at the moment. But it's definitely worth, even at this moment in time, making the jump to Skyrim Special Edition, playing it through, and getting a lot of the great mods out there that are being converted over to the new version. So I look forward to downloading a lot of the new mods out there. I look forward to trying out a lot of your converted mods over to the Special Edition. It's really fun time for Skyrim again. It's come back alive, and I'm really looking forward to the future. And that is it for another Skyrim Creation Kit tutorial video. Although, to be fair, there wasn't a lot of Creation Kit in there, but a lot of it's pretty much related anyway, and it all ties in. So I hope you found it useful. Please let me know in the comments section below. And if you feel like I've missed a few things out, anything important, or I've made a hiccup anywhere, which I'm pretty sure I haven't, but you never know, then please feel free to let me know in the comments section. It's really good when people can help out down there. And you can also go ahead and join me on my Discord, where we've got quite the nice community going on. If you do have any problems with converting your mods or doing anything else modding related, and you want to get a bit of help, or maybe you just want to share your own creations, your new mods or your old mods coming across to SC, come ahead, have a good chat on Discord. It's really good fun. You can go ahead and find the rest of my work over on my website at www.darkfox127.co.uk, and you can check me out on social media, where you can catch me live when I'm doing things like live streams and all good stuff like that. So hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll speak to you next time.